There we go. Hi, everybody. I am live. I hope you're all here. I'm just going to wait a few minutes and see if anybody else is going to join us for the chat. Yeah, it's my first time doing it on YouTube, so I'm not exactly familiar how everything, where everything is. I'm still figuring it out. But I'm really looking forward to tonight's channeling. As you see, I've got my sketchbook behind me, so if I feel called to do so, I might do some channeled art. It is possible that I felt prompted to bring it along. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Keeping it open and light. And I'm looking forward to everybody's questions. And yeah. All right. So I'm going to give those of you that don't know me and are not who have not experienced my work or are not familiar with what I do, especially with direct channeling. Basically, I am channeling a being of love and light to come through and to answer your questions. Thank you, Bev. Hi there. Hi, Robin. Thank you so much for that. At least I know you guys are there. Hi. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so basically I am a conscious channeler, which means that while I am channeling the being of love and light, I am still aware of what's going on. I might not be, how can I put it? I might not be completely aware of every single word because I'm having sort of my own experience in the background, but I'm there. And it's kind of like when one's had a dream, you remember some of the details, but not necessarily everything. So that's what it's like. And then they often use my clairvoyance and sometimes my clairaudience as well and give me information to interpret instead of just the beings just answering directly. And then I have to step forward and give the interpretation. And this will certainly happen if I need to use my sketch pad just now. Okay. All right. I'm hoping the video is nice and clear tonight. The last time I did a live channel, it was a little bit fuzzy, but it seems good tonight. Does it look good, everybody? Let me know. And just don't just wait and see if anybody else is going to log on. However, if any of you that are logged in have any questions about how my channeling works or anything else, quite frankly, anything you want to know, please go ahead and ask. I am here. All right. And we will see who comes through tonight. I've definitely been in contact with an Ascended Master today. We will see if he wants to come through or if it will be another benevolent being. I'm honestly not sure who's going to come through tonight. It's up in the air. It will depend on you guys as well. Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that very much. Hi, I'm so glad you guys are here joining me. All right. Okay, I feel prompted to speak a little bit about a card that I drew for my community members on Sunday. And this card was about shining your light, basically. And what it just boils down to is really just finding yourself and who you are and finding that spark that is you and letting that light shine, not just for others to, it's not like just trying to convert others or whatever. It's something to remember when you're going through a tough time. Just in the darkness, that's where the light shines. So a lot of us are going through tough times at the moment. A lot of people are suffering. And we need to count our blessings and really understand how fortunate we are. wherever we are, whatever our situation is, we all have so much to be grateful for. Because wherever we are in our lives, that's where we need to be. That's what we've attracted to ourselves. So we need to understand that and become aware of our beings and what is going on within ourselves, within our souls, and really just try and integrate. It's very important as well. This is a message that I've been receiving quite a lot as well. It's super important to not just try and almost force your own ascension, if that makes sense. Some lessons are meant to be learned. Some lessons are meant to be integrated between the fifth dimension and the third dimension. That's part of our experience as humans here. Besides all the physical experiences of sensations and those kind of things, it's also about learning to manage energy, learning to really, we come here to earth to learn to manage energy. It's one of the big things we come here for. And it's very important to be aware of your own energy and what you're worth as a soul, because we tend to, as three-dimensional beings with egos, not always see our worth. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's important to find your soul self, your higher self, and really connect with that part of yourself. Let me see. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining. Hi, Melo. Oh, great. Thank you, Melo. I'm glad the picture is good. Bev, am I still in my late friends? Oh, I don't remember interchanging it. Sorry, Bev, I'm not quite understanding your question there. Please really clarify that for me a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I need some clarification there. Please help me. All right. Okay, so remember to find your light, find the beauty of you, whatever that is. Beauty is much more than just physical. So it's the inside. Okay, thanks, Bev. No problem. Sorry about that. All right. I'm just going to connect and let's see who comes through. If there's any messages for the collective, the human collective, the human consciousness, and those that are live with us right now, please come through. Only beings of love and light. Thank you so much for my guides who are holding space. The wind is blowing here in Cape Town, and I've been made aware of it because wind is very clearing energy, and there's a lot of good stuff going on, and people are learning to clear their energy. And yeah, it's just a reminder, we all need to clear our energy. If you don't know how, let's do it quickly. Okay, I think most people on here at the moment have an idea, but we'll do a little clearing, a quick little ground clear and protect. Okay, close your eyes, which is just going to be a quick one to also help us to be more receptive. Close your eyes. Become aware of your breath. Take a deep breath in. Hold and expel all the air out of your lungs. That's it. Just breathing in love and light, universal energy, source energy, and breathing out all that doesn't serve you. One more time. There we go. I want you to visualize a big, magnificent tree in front of you. This tree's got extremely deep roots. It's going all the way down to the earth's core. And all you have to do is reach out and touch this tree. Even hug the tree, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just go ahead and hug this tree and just feel that energy from Mother Earth just coming through that tree and just vibrating, resonating, and going straight into your energy field, connecting you with Mother Earth, helping you to ground. And then while you're standing there hugging that tree or touching that tree, just sense the wind, whatever that is for you, whether you see yourself being blown around by the wind, but you're anchored firmly and the tree is keeping you anchored. So you can't blow away. You're just feeling the force of it without being blown away. Or whether you can smell perhaps the sea air or pine needles, whatever it is for you, coming through the wind, or perhaps you just feel a sensation of wind. Whatever that is for you, just feel your energy being cleared by this amazing energetic wind. It's blowing away all of your worries, all the things that doesn't serve you, all the thoughts and the patterns that your brain has been conditioned to accept as normal. And just say, whichever of these patterns doesn't serve my highest good, get rid of it, blow it away. Don't need it. Just let it go. Let's rewire our brains to serve our highest good. That's it. Thank you very much. And then while you're hugging the tree and the wind has blown away everything, and you just in this fresh air, just see the silver bubble forming around the tree and yourself, mostly around you and your energy space. And just feel the protection. And the purpose of this shield is not to protect us from anything evil. That's not what it's about. That's not what protection is about. What protection is about is keeping your energy, your own energy in your space. Just saying, this is my energy and this is the energy I want in my space. Knowing that you're all protected here. There we go. And just repeat after me in your head, out loud, doesn't matter. I am safe. I am grounded. I am ready to receive. And just allowing yourself, opening yourself up to hear what is appropriate for you, to hear what and learn what you need to learn currently where you are. Here we go. Thank you very much. You can open your eyes when you feel ready to do so. And hopefully we're all... Hi, Ian. Nice to see you here. Okay. Oh, Bev, am I able to channel for myself? Yes, I am able to channel for myself. However, it is a bit trickier, as you would probably know. So I really have to be very clear, and I ask for guidance and assistance with that as well. So I'm quite intentional about that. If I know, because I am called to journey and to connect spiritually with my guides and ancestors as well as the benevolent ETs and so on that I speak through as well, angelic beings, whoever it is that's coming through. So I'm often called to do that. And whether I'm meditating, journaling, sometimes using cards, because sometimes the cards are just a way to make sure that it's just a little tool, a little help, especially when you're doing it for yourself, you know. So I use whatever tools I feel called to use, like I said, whether it's meditation or whatever it is. And sometimes it's even through the art. But I have been called and keep being called to improve my vibrational state, to live higher vibrationally. And therefore, it is easier for me and becoming easier and easier as I raise my vibrations more and more by the way that I live. To receive messages and to become clear and to have discernment about when is it my ego and when is it, you know, truly a message from source or from one of my guides or even my higher self. So yes, I can channel for myself. I have recorded myself channeling, doing direct channeling as well, with my own specific questions in mind. And so it's a little bit strange because I kind of step forward, ask my question, or sometimes I just do it in my head. And yeah, because often when I'm channeling directly, when the beings coming through, they show themselves to me, like how they look. So I get a physical idea of what they look like. I'm actually better at getting the physical idea of what they look like than the names. You guys will often see I battle a little bit with names. Even though I am clairaudient, I would imagine that would mean that names would be easy for me, but I actually really battle with that. I'm actually, yeah, just like I am with people in real life. I'm better with faces. I don't remember names most of the time. It takes me a few times to learn people's names, meeting them a few times. So I guess it's similar to that. Yeah. So yes, I can. I just as I do with the client, though, I have to honor my energy. I have to make sure my energy is correct, ready, and that I'm prepared. Do you know what I mean? I make sure that I'm cleared before I channel, whether it's for myself or anybody else. So that is a very important point. Douglas. Hi, Douglas. Thank you for joining. So nice to have you here. I'm listening to what you're saying. I have difficulty at work, and tomorrow is our weekly meeting, and I always get shouted at. I suffer from PSD, and is that ego and pride? Okay, let's see, Douglas, what we can pick up. Okay, Douglas, you have to remember. So I've actually got the Jesus consciousness coming through, and I'm sure that's especially for you, Douglas. So it's what we consider us as channelers, how we perceive Jesus is a consciousness. It was many beings, very, very high dimensional, 11th and 12th dimensional, that came as a collective and incarnated into a human body. So this collective is wanting you to understand that one of the things that he came here to teach was to learn that through love, unconditional love, everything happens. All the miracles that he did, it's through learning to manipulate energy. It's through really making people understand that we all have the power within ourselves to create our realities. Okay, so it's a lot more in depth they actually wanted us to realize that we can do miracles too. So what he wants you to understand, Douglas, is that you have to honor and love yourself and visualize how you would like it to go in the meetings. Instead of stressing and worrying and being anxious about what is going to happen. That's anxiety talking. I think more than pride or ego or anything like that, it's anxiety. And it's kind of been built up almost. And then every time you have that anxiety about what's going to happen, it happens. And every time you get more anxious, and then it happens again, and maybe it even feels worse. And yeah, so we have to be very aware of what we attract to ourselves by what we're thinking about. That's why it's so important to become aware of our thoughts and our feelings, our emotions, and realizing the connection between the two. Okay. I'm just receiving a download. I'm just trying to see what's coming through. So I'm just interpreting more now than doing direct channeling. Okay, let me just see it again. Okay. All right. So also in terms of your PSD, it's very important for you to energy manage. With other words, it's very important for you to ground, clear, and protect yourself, because that way you will not let other people influence what you're feeling. Okay. So it's about keeping your energy to yourself. When you are a super sensitive person, we tend to absorb and take in those sort of negative energies, even that people have. Do you know what I mean? They go through their own problems and things are going on, and then you, as someone sensitive, could be absorbing or like become a target for that, because it is part of your makeup to almost be like a sponge for emotions and for negative energy. And this is quite a common thing with empaths. So those of you that are empaths will be familiar with this, how sometimes you're so affected by energies around you and other people's emotions and energies. And this is why it's important, especially for empaths, just to learn to clear almost continuously, just clearing energy, just recognizing, first of all, that is this my emotion? Is this true? Is this really what's going on? You know, or whatever negative emotion it is, for example, is that my emotions that I'm feeling? Why am I feeling like this? Why? And also asking, why am I attracting this? Okay. And then just visualizing how you want it to go. And then together with that visualization or that picture that you have in your head, to start getting the emotions going. So this is why the heart, working through your heart with everything you do, is so important. In this specific case, you would work through the heart so that you can filter out all of the stuff that is unnecessary. That's kind of what the heart does. It's like a filter. It just takes away all that unnecessary. And then connecting your emotions with what you want to happen so that it's good emotions, good feelings. And that combination will help you manifest the situation that you want as well. So energy manage and manifest in this way. I hope that answers your question, Douglas. Hi, Ingrid. Nice to see you. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Sudasha. Ian, may I ask? Well, a young friend whom I cared about very much and passed late last year, Tashi. reincarnate into my family as my grandson in March, April. Sure. I'm not one for timelines specifically, but I can most certainly connect with Tashi and see what I pick up. That's what I can do. Thank you for your question, Ian. Okay, Tashi. Okay, what I'm getting from her is first of all, timelines, how the spirit world sees it and how we see it don't always match up. So just be aware of that. So it might not be this year necessarily, it could be the following year. So not to say it can't happen now, and go with your intuition. I mean, you've got your own powerful intuition and abilities. So listen to that as well and see what resonates with you. But I do feel like she is wanting to do that. She is wanting to join your family in some way. I can't pick up if it's specifically to become your grandson. I'm saying she, so I'm not sure if Tashi's she, but that's how the energy is feeling to me. As of she's presenting herself to me as a young woman. So I don't know if that resonates. And yeah, so the clear message is she wants to join your family. She will join your family when the time is right. And perhaps not necessarily in the way that you expect. But she is wanting you to know as well. But yeah, it is very possible. And then she wants you to know as well that she is around. She's definitely, her energy is very strong around you and your family right now. That is very clear. So you probably are sensing her, and just to pay attention to that. And just trust your gut, honestly. You are closer to her and more connected to her than I am. Yeah. Okay. I hope that helped. Hope you got the answer you wanted. Thank you, Robin. Sudasha. I'm sure you asked me this question before. Perhaps I'm wrong. Let's see what comes up for you. Sudasha, what career path will follow me? What will suit me? I'm picking up two separate things. But it's almost like one might be considered more of a hobby, especially initially, maybe. So the one thing I'm picking up is something to do with finances. I am not 100% sure what that is or if that resonates with you, but I see you very clearly working within a team and having discussions around accounts and juggling a whole lot of things, big accounts. So that's my feeling that I'm getting is that it's something like a chartered accountant, but my knowledge is limited about this industry. So I might just be viewing it as what I perceive as that, but perhaps it's something else. But it's something to do with finances in any case, that's for sure. I see they're showing me graphs and numbers and data, lots of data. Yeah, very interesting. And then the other thing, which may be more of a hobby, is some kind of art form, perhaps painting or drawing, or maybe it's even just coloring in. But I see that is also something, there's something creative, something visual that you do, which might, this is the thing, we don't always just choose a career and then that's it. Sometimes you choose what resonates now, what works for now, and what you need to learn now. And then later on, when the time comes, you might be called to change, and that's fine. Everything that career-wise that we learn, and more than career-wise sometimes, that we learn often ends up aiding us in our life path, our goals. So, for example, I studied art, I've been a teacher, I've done all kinds of jobs and interesting things, and all of those different things, graphic design, I used to do that, and all those kind of things. All the things that I've learned have added up into me becoming who I am today, and I'm using all of those things from being in completely different careers. I'm currently using in what I do now. So don't ever limit yourself, and just when the opportunities come, go for them. That's the important thing to remember, is to listen to your intuition. Let me know if that resonates with you at all. Okay. All right. Melo, hello. Is the moon artificial, and how does that affect us? Okay, I think it's time to call in perhaps the ETs. Let's see who will come through. I think it's time for me to let the inner being of love and light. I would like to step back a little bit and do less interpreting. Hello, Melo. Thank you for your question. We appreciate you. It depends what you consider to be artificial. It all depends on your perception and how you view artificiality. So the moon has started off as a rock, but how did that rock get there? That is the question. Did somebody cause that to happen? What is true is that the moon is a real rock, a real satellite. However, there are a lot of energies on the moon that are currently residing where they can't be seen, and manipulating or using the moon's energy. So the moon in its own totality is a true heavenly body. It's a true, but just as planets can be, so the moon can be used for whatever purposes and needs certain beings want to use it for. So there are ETs on the moon. Okay. I'm just listening. Stepping forward a bit, yeah? Sorry. They are not wanting me to share everything. It would not be wise at this time to divulge the exact energies, as this might cause fear and panic in some. However, it is not to be feared. Do not let this worry you. As long as you take care of your own energy, and each human being at some point or another learns to control their energy, they will not be affected in this way. No human being can be controlled by anyone or anything unless they allow this to be part of their experience. Therefore, it is important for humans to learn what the energy body consists of, what the energy body is, how they fit, how important every single soul in the universe is to the greater consciousness. Every soul, including those that are currently not following the path of love and light, even those souls are part of the universe. There is a balance. This is not to say that you should go and seek these energies out. Not by any means. Not unless you have experience in this. And some may be called to help the energies or the beings that are using darker energies. Some channelers and healers might be called to help these beings transcend as well, just as everybody else in the universe needs to transcend. So it's not to fear, because we are in control. Every single human and every being in the universe can choose what they want to be part of, what reality they want to manifest, what they want to experience. At the end of the day, it's about the experience that each and every single soul wants to experience. Okay, I hope that helped. Let's see who else. Robin, oh yes, since meeting you, I am really working on clearing other people's emotions from my space. Yes, definitely, it's very important. Robin's got a lot of experience with learning to manage her energy, so she will know the value of that. Michelle, I'm terrible with energies. I feel everything. Why? You're an empath. You're an empath. That's why. Okay, let's investigate that. Okay, I've got the same energy coming through again. It's not being shown to me who this energy is, but I can tell you that it's an 11th dimensional entity of love and light that works through heart space, who wants to help the human consciousness that is coming through. Michelle, many empaths empaths have a very specific ability. The reason why you take on energy is because you're a healer. So like a sponge, it's almost the way the black stones work, like jet and onyx and smoky quartz and black obsidian, all those kinds of crystals, gems. You put them on your windowsill to absorb negative energy. And an empath is like a human version of this, collecting all that energy. they like walk around like sponges, just absorbing stuff from people. And learning to put that bubble around that Michelle helped you to visualize earlier. And it's just an intention. It's an intention of, this is my space. Nothing else may come beyond this space. And it's really just a matter of, I'm just going to give you a visual. Hopefully you can see it there. Hopefully you can all see it clearly. Okay, so that is you. This beautiful soul that you are. Extra long arms. So that's just I'm just doing rough sketches just for visual, okay, just to show you what I'm being shown. So you can do a bubble of silver. In this case, they are choosing electric blue. And just visualizing this bubble around you that just goes beyond your aura. For those of you that understand aura, so it's coming out of your body. And the most important thing with this intention that you set when you want to visualize a bubble around yourself, there's many other ways that you could use for protection. Positivity is a very, very powerful tool in protecting your energy. Positive thinking. However, if that is difficult for you, this method might be more useful. And just really defining your boundaries and your space and saying nothing beyond this line. It's almost like when you have a fence around a house or something like that, saying this is the space that I am residing in, and I don't want anybody else's energy to come through. Because as a natural sponge, as an empath, you do not want every single person's emotions, every person's problems, every animal. So a lot of empaths also have more of an affinity with animals, for example. Some of us have an affinity with spirits. So I work with, as a medium, I work with passed over people sometimes, spirits that have lost their way, and I help them in this way. So whatever it is, you need to define your space, because you can decide when you want to open up and say, okay, I want to be the sponge, I want to heal. And then you have to clear that energy. As you're healing, as you're absorbing that energy, you can't keep it within yourself, because that causes disease, illness, anxiety, low vibrational frequencies, all those things you do not want. And this is why we clear energy, because we do not want what is not ours, what does not belong to us, what does not serve us, to have an effect on our energy bodies or our physical bodies. And by just defining your space and saying, this is my space, you can do that. All right. So, and this is why energy management is so incredibly important. I cannot emphasize this enough. All right, let's see. Hi, Douglas. Yes, I remember. Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette. Thanks for joining. Can I get a message? Okay. Let's see if there's anything specific that comes through for you, Jeanette. Jeanette, it is very important for you to make time for yourself. Create a space for yourself that is your space, not just in your energy body, as Michelle has just shown, by protecting your energy body, but a physical space within your living space or perhaps it's outside in a park, or perhaps it is even as you walk along the beach or whatever natural place you may be able to access. But create a space or go into a space where you can be alone and have time to reflect on your thoughts, process what is happening. A run or a walk, exercising in nature. Michelle here, so they're showing me a park. I'm seeing park benches. It could be next to the beach as well. I'm not sure where you are, but it looks like there's trees and there's park benches. And I see a body of water, but it looks kind of like a pond. So I'm not sure what that's about. But just being active in nature, that is one way. And also having a space where you can sit quietly, reflect, write down your feelings and your thoughts, letting it out. And where you can meditate, whatever that is for you, whether it's just being. Sometimes this is exactly what you require. Sometimes you just need to be. Sometimes you need to write your thoughts. Sometimes you need to be active in nature. But taking the time and the space for yourself, creating physical space for yourself where you can be alone with your thoughts and your and connect to your guides, allowing yourself to become more open and more aware of any messages that comes through for you. So I think Michelle here again, I think they're trying to encourage you to start trusting your intuition and to start connecting to your guides. And start getting messages for yourself as well. So within the message they've given you now is the message that you can listen for your own messages. Yeah. Hope that helps. Ian, you're welcome. You're very welcome. You're welcome, Sudasha. Sudasha, the creative part resonated a lot. I've never been interested in finance, into it now. Okay, I just want to double check that I understood the message correctly regarding the finances and the creative part. I definitely saw the bliss in the creative part and the sort of industry of the finances. Let me just make 100% sure. Letting our higher dimensional friend answer you directly. Sudasha, never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your creative spark and fire. However, it is important that you learn about working with money, entrepreneurship, how to run your own business. This is what's important about numbers. You need to understand. What Michelle saw was also you giving people instructions, because if you learn how to manage your finances, your own finances, and getting big accounts, big customers in as well, and managing those, you will be able to manage your business. And this is what we also want you to understand, is that this is within your field to grasp if this is what you want. This is a very clear and definite possibility for you. However, at the end of the day, you are in charge of creating reality that you want. So be very, very clear in what you desire out of life and what it is that you want to get out of life. Learning to deal with finances will aid you, but the choice remains yours. Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, Melo, thank you. I see why they wouldn't want to share everything about the moon. A lot is happening, yeah, definitely. Melo, great drawing. Do you ever draw the beings you connect with? Yes, I'm actually starting to. I would love to see a library like that. I haven't actually done any complete artworks of any of these beings. However, I've seen them very clearly. A few of them specifically who work with me. I have especially my healing team. I like to think about them that way. I've got a team of healers who channel through me when I perform healing. So I did not study Reiki. I did not do anything like that when I started opening myself up more as a channeler. Last year, I still thought of myself as a psychic, but as I've started opening myself up more to greater possibilities and just accepting what they're putting before me and just allowing it to happen, allowing myself to be utilized for the highest good of all. This team of beings just prompted me and started telling me, you can do this, you can heal, just allow. So I'm channeling it, almost like when I'm answering questions and directing. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because that team of healers, of entities that help heal through me, and there's a few different species of beings there. One of them is a mantis like ET. There's Pleiadians, because I have strong Pleiadian energy. Yeah. So there's a few different experts, if you can put it that way, who knows how to heal, and they just work through me. So them I've seen very clearly. And so in the past, when I've done channeled art, I have allowed myself to just let whatever message comes through for the human consciousness to come through. And sometimes, usually it includes me because I'm part of the human consciousness. And every now and then, I think my guides appear, especially if you look at the one artwork I did, Guided and Grounded, which is still available, by the way. There's a few in my mind, so my physical reality, my thinking, my analytical brain, my thinking is that they are representations for guides that people could have. That's how I've always thought of it. But I've also started learning, sometimes you go in hindsight and you examine something again. I've also started realizing, I should rather say, that some of those are some of my guides, but just not being fully shown. They're sort of more just representations of, this is a fairy creature, this is a ET, this is an animal spirit, this is, there's all kinds of different beings there, but they're not necessarily, physically clear. And I'm actually really fired up at the moment to start painting and drawing some of these guides of mine. And I'm very, very keen to do it for other people as well. Yeah. It's something that really excites me. So it's something that I'll be doing soon. Yeah, definitely in the cards for me. Michelle, you're welcome, Michelle. Sharon, I'm an empath and always feel everyone's feelings, even the shopkeepers, etc. I want to love and make sure everyone's well and happy. Find it hard to receive. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it can be a tricky thing. To feel everybody's feelings, but in your case specifically, it's very important to start becoming aware of your own. You have to start definitely discerning between what's yours and what's someone else's. And for now, while you're learning the ropes of being an empath, it's important for you to get to know your own energy. That's kind of the key. You really have to get to know yourself on all levels and become aware of yourself. This is everybody in the human consciousness, not just Sharon. We all have to become familiar with our own energy, like really familiar. There's parts of ourselves that we hide from ourselves. There's so much to you than what you even realize. And really, really to get deeper in connection with that, with all your different parts and everything that makes you up, and really starting to come from the place where you love you for all the different parts that you are as a total soul. Really, really getting to know your higher self, so that is the best way to learn how to discern your energy, what's your energy and what's someone else's, is to strengthening your understanding and familiarity with your own energy. So that is incredibly important. And it's also a way to protect yourself from others' energies, because the more aware of your own energy you are, and the more you do practices like grounding, clearing, and protection, the more you'll be able to feel your own energy and become familiar with it. Because unfortunately, a lot of the time as an empath, what you might have thought was your own energy for most of your life might not have been, if you're not aware. So very, very important to become aware of your own. Really, really investigating yourself. Yeah, hope that helps. You're welcome, Jeanette. Melo, how should I develop more of my spiritual psychic abilities? Okay. Melo. It is important for you to continue with your physical activities as you continue utilizing this, even though you might consider it more as recreational, in addition to physical activity that helps to keep your body strong. These physical activities that you do, the martial arts, just perhaps a different form of it, where movement exercises, movement activities were often centered around either becoming strong for survival or for manipulating energy. It is just that the human consciousness have just forgotten so much of what was once known. So this is one way for you to become more aware of channeling energy and manipulating energy. For you, it will become much more of a physical sensation. And the other important practice for you is in meditation, to really go deep and go into trance-like states and connect to source energy, allowing source energy to come through and work through your chakras, and using that energy and becoming familiar with that universal energy as it comes through you. Again, recognizing and experiencing and feeling what the energy feels like. And you will be able to get to a point where you physically feel the sensations of that energy and can channel it into your projects. All right. Okay, guys, what's the time? Oh my word, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to just look at the last few things, see if there's any more questions. So Joshua, I've heard finances come up when I was reading through my natal chart. But I've personally never seen myself in that field. Okay, that's interesting. You're most welcome. I've been trying to manage my money better. That's fantastic. Yeah, so I'm feeling that you guys, what came through for me is they just want you to actually learn from mentors, or maybe through a course or something like that, to do some formal studying in that. Lauren, hi Lauren, nice to see you. I've been receiving, as I'm typing, questions. That's wonderful. That's really awesome. So thank you, Michelle, for the space. Is there a specific message, Spirit, for me? Please let me know. Okay. Lauren, I see a dog. Is it a dog? Hang on. I'm trying to discern what creature this is. Almost looks like a chow, perhaps. Anyway, the general sense I get is that it's some kind of dog who's coming through and wanting to talk to you. I think what sometimes happens when passed over animals come through and want to talk to their owners, they sometimes present themselves slightly different to what they used to look, because they're presenting themselves the way they see themselves, not necessarily the way they looked on Earth. However, I can ask it to show me what it looked like when it was in your care. Okay, I'm seeing a small dog. And he wants you to play with him. This is not uncommon with animal spirits, loved ones, really. They're family too, so who come through. It's not uncommon. This is a very childlike animal, very joyful spirit, and he wants you not to forget him and to still play with him. So, Lauren, for you, I would advise you to connect with your inner child, and when you go and into your meditation space, to connect with this animal. You know exactly which animal it is. I sense that you already know by the description of the character that you could resonate and pick up which animal it is. So when you have your quiet time, your meditation time, please do seek him out, or her. I think it's a him. That's what I'm picking up. And go play. Have fun. Just go. You may even go on a journey together and allow yourself to just go freely with this loved one of yours. Just go on a journey. Yeah, not just a regular meditation, but a journey. Yeah, and just really letting your inner child shine. Yeah, play is very important, people. It's part of the balance we need. Okay. Sharon, you're welcome. Melo, very helpful. Thank you. Definitely resonates with what I've been thinking. Okay, great. I'm so glad to hear that. Urisitse, hi there. I want to know about my career. Urisitse. Hi. There are several different careers that seem to interest you. But the career that you're currently engaged in does not feed your spirit. You do not feel like this is quite where you need to be. It's not terrible, but it's not really igniting that fire within you. It is not really getting you excited. There are two parts to this. The one part of it is, once again, we are going to talk to you about creating your own reality and visualizing how you either want this position or this job to go for you, or visualize what you truly would like to see yourself doing, and decide which one is important and true for you, what resonates with you. In your current position where you're finding yourself right now, remember it is important to be in the moment and to create in the moment. So, with other words, this is the place where we stop time. This is how time travel works. We stop time by forgetting about the future, forgetting about the past, and truly being in the moment. And when you find yourself in the moment, and perhaps you're not feeling at peace or happy with what you've been doing, but you just start doing it from moment to moment and seeing the good, anything good in each moment, anything good, and just being thankful for whatever that good is in every moment, then more of that will come. More good, more good, more good. The more you see the good, the more you focus on the positive, the more you focus on what's working for you and being grateful for that, the more of that you will get. Whether it is a promotion, whether it's a career change, whether it's a different job. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide what it is that you want to do. Just remembering always, whatever you choose, make sure it's for your highest good. So the most important thing we want to inspire you to focus on is to truly embrace positivity, embrace whatever good resonates for you, whatever moments that they could be for you, no matter how horrible whatever situation you find yourself in, find the good in every moment. This is the most important thing for you to focus on. And then the way forward will become much more clear, and what you truly want will become much more clear. because there are times when you feel confused about what you want. And this is important, just being in the moment and being happy in the moment, grateful. Yes. And then everything will become much more clear. All right. Thank you. Robin. Hi, Michelle. Going through a tough time with an elderly family member. She seems to be a little unhinged at the moment and is affecting me and my family life. Do the guides have any advice? Okay. Before I get to your question, let me just finish with Odysseitse. I'd appreciate anything from the spirit guides. Maybe clarity on my sense of purpose. Yes, your sense of purpose just will become clear to you. Just enjoying that every moment, that's for sure. Hi from Africa. Well, we're in Africa too. Yay! Well done. Thank you very much for being here. I just want to, I think Odysseitse, your spirit guides were pretty clear in the message that I wanted to give to you, which is about living in the moment and truly appreciating, really, really appreciating every moment. That's definitely very clearly what they wanted to talk to you about. So there's nothing else today, because they really want you to truly understand this message and take it into your heart and practice it in your daily life. Okay, Robin. So let me just see what comes through for this family member. This is also going to be the last question that I'm going to be doing tonight. There is a lot of confusing energies within this family member's head, brain. She's receiving more input than what she's used to. And it is making her feel like she's losing control of her life. And because of this, she's projecting and a sense of lashing out, but not in the attempt to harm anyone, just as a manifestation of the chaotic and anxious energy that's currently inside her bubble, inside her energy space. So your aunt could do with some energy management, some clearing. And however, if she's not open to doing anything like that, you could suggest some activities for her if she is open to it. For example, gardening, to ground herself. I just see you showing her, so this is Michelle, I just see you showing, doing some activities with her, perhaps, giving her some company, things that would calm her down, things that bring her peace, because she's very high anxiety, and everything that's coming through is very unclear, and she's not clear about anything, and it's confusing, and it's very overwhelming. It's an extremely overwhelming energy. Feeling very unsure of herself. So it's important to come from a place of love, first of all. Be like a deer and be gentle. Do your energy management before you interact with this person, Robin. And just come from a place of love, being gentle, and showing her that you're not against her in any way, if that makes sense. Just perhaps helping her, guiding her. You are a healer as well. Just never take on the energy unless you're prepared to clear the energy. If you can't help it, make sure you're always clearing. Very important. But you can actually assist her in small ways, not by being pushy or anything like that, but being very, very gentle and maybe just softly suggesting some calming activities. Not saying that you have an agenda or anything like that, but just coming from a place of love and really just helping her get grounded without her perhaps even realizing it. Because if she can get grounded, the chatter will quiet down a little bit, the anxiety will quiet down a little bit, and she'll be able to not feel so overwhelmed. Yes, and on the other hand, always important to manage your energy and as well as that of your house and your family members. Always asking permission from their higher selves before you do anything, but and always making sure that whatever you do, whether it's energetic or suggesting activities, make sure and check that it's for her highest good as well as yours. Very important. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. You guys are awesome. I really, really love it. Okay, great. Thanks, Odisitse. Lauren, oh man, he's reminding me of life's joys again, the sweet, silly soul. Thank you, Michelle. Oh, that's awesome. I love it when animal friends come through, animal family. Thank you, guys. I was hoping I'd be doing some more art tonight. The channeling certainly went a little bit differently to last time, and I think we can expect that every time. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to be doing this every single Monday night at 8 p.m. On YouTube. So if you want to tune in next week, I'll be here. Yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'm super, super happy to have been part of this and really, really appreciate every single person that came and took part tonight. Thank you very much. Bless all of you. Go well and take care of yourselves. And remember to love yourself. Bye.